What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for, I guess, last week. I guess now I have to say it, not this week, because, this week's coming out later. But yeah, welcome to my review for last week's episode of Attack on Titan. Apologies for the delay once again, guys. You guys follow me on Twitter. I talked about, actually, that this review was going to be, indeed, delayed. And if you guys also saw my TG review, you know I also talked about it being delayed there as well. Yeah, like I said, if you guys follow my Twitter, college, workload was pretty bad. I was like, I can't review TG today. I have to delay it and get some of this work. So, yeah, once again, apologies for the delay on this review, guys, but, yo, this episode was damn good. We actually learned a lot about Aaron's parents in this episode, more or less, like, how they met, and a few other interesting details, and some other stuff that I'm kind of, like, interesting about, and, yeah, we also got to learn a lot more about Aaron's boot camp commanding officer. The last character you expect to get a full episode dedicated to his backstory, but hey, this episode's damn good. Oh my god! And apparently, after this week's episode, Attack on Titan's gonna take a 3-week hiatus. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe they're just like, because like, in case you guys, because like maybe they're doing like what Hiroaka does, where like usually, like during season 2, season 3 of Hiroaka, when first arc finished, ended, they just maybe took like a week off. That's when they switched over to a new OP and everything. I think that's what Witch Studios is probably doing. 3 weeks. If I had to guess, their Witch Studios are going to put everything they got into that OP. If I had to guess, I don't know why they're taking 3 weeks off. I'm not personally complaining because, like I said, that's one last show I got to review for 3 weeks. That means I only got to do Super and JoJo. Diamond is Unbreakable, my Tsunami reviews, and that's it. Then I got the rest of the day to myself, which, hey, I'm pleased with that. That means that's a lot less stressed down on me, where I'm like, okay, now let's get some of this work done. So yeah, so anyway, let us begin. So we start this episode off. We're starting off at this big farm here, where we see Historia. She's chasing around these little kids, and we got Jean. Armin and Aaron, and Jean is talking about how Historia is exactly what the queen that they thought she was going to be. Johnny talks about she's better suited to run an orphanage than run the kingdom, or that she she does a pretty good job with the door. She probably should do that instead. But he goes on about saying Historia, honestly, as a queen, she has pretty much just been helping the needy and, the unfortunate by, of course, creating this orphanage on this farm, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is this actually the same farm where Historia grew up when we saw those flashbacks a couple weeks back? Because it looks very similar, although maybe it's just me, but I swear this is, the same farm. So, yeah, Historia's now opened up an orphanage for, of course, the people, for, of course, the little kids that are, of course, growing up outside the walls. Of course, the kids that are growing up, that grew up underground, which Levi was actually completely okay with and was supported, because, as we know, Levi did grow up in the underground when we got Kenny's, backstory a couple weeks back. And so, she kind of does both. She kind of runs this orphanage, runs this place, but of course also runs the kingdom. And I believe Aaron said that Historia, what her goal is to help everybody. No matter who you are or where it is, she's going to do everything in her power to help you. Which, very admirable, I have to say. And Armin says that, that Historia now has a new nickname among the orphans, I guess. She's now called the Kettle Farming Goddess. Although, oh my god, Jean, sweet Jesus, oh my god, the art animation here, he's yeah, in a couple weeks, nobody's gonna remember you, Aaron, when you plug up that hole. And oh my god, that smug, shit-eating grin on John's face. Oh my god, Witch Studios, props to you on that art. The way he just looks, that smile, I'm that is the smuggest smile I've ever seen. This is more smug than, than Nagatoro. It's more smug than Rango from, in the latest Black Torch chapter that actually got released in English. It sucks the series is now over. I just hope the god didn't get canceled. Anyway, so, this is smugger than them all. My man, John, you are one smug. That's smug. And then we got Aaron, and is it just me? But Aaron sounds so different. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like, the man just sounds like he just doesn't give a flying fuck anymore. He honestly sounds like Anarchy now. Because, granted, this is all because as we learned a few weeks back, throughout, like, the last few episodes, we find that Aaron has realized he ain't shit. He's just a normal average dude. He could be very easily replaced by someone else that could probably do the job better than him. And speaking of like the wig, allow me to talk about the dub, cause Funimation, oh my fucking god, Funimation, y'all did an amazing job this week. The dub of Toonami, that voice acting from, I forget who voices Aaron in the story. I know Aaron is also voiced by the same guy that voices Kirito and Rin, you know, from Brutal Exorcist and SAO. In the English dub, and man, this is probably the best performance I've seen him done. He was amazing. That man deserves a raise. And the woman who voices the story, I believe her name was like April, I think. She also did a phenomenal job with voicing that story, especially when she just goes ham and is like, you know, to hell with God and all that shit. Oh, it was so epic rewatching that. Oh, yeah, that was Funimation. Once again, y'all proving why y'all pretty much create the best English dubs. I mean, sure, I've heard, I know someone's gonna be like, oh, but Glenn, what about the controversies with like Prison School and this other show? I'm like, whatever. They still pull out the best English dubs just in terms of actual voice acting, what they do. I mean, just look at My Hero Academia and look at Attack on Titan. They have just done a phenomenal job with those series. It's legendary what they have done. Anyway. And so after she's done, like, you know, chasing down these kids and everything, she's like, hey, y'all are slacking over there. She's like, oh, it's getting dark, you know. And so they end up picking up this stuff. And actually, we also find that everyone else is helping out in the orphanage, of course, because these are little kids. They're also messing around with, you know, Hanji. Not Hanji, was Sasha and Connie, of course, because they're like the little kids. And I love what John says when they actually start picking up the stuff and, you know, like, actually, you know, helping, you know, pulling their weight around here. I love John says, she's turning more and more into, like, my mother. I was like, that was hilarious. And then we get this scene, this like little convo between Aaron and Astoria, which we've noticed that Aaron and Astoria have gotten really, really close. And oh my god, I can hear it from now. There are, like, I feel like there's going to be like a huge, like, I feel like the ship wars are going to get so bad now, like with that, like it's going to be like Naruhina and Narusaka, where it's like, you know, half the community ships Aaron with Mikasa, the other half ships him with Astoria, and oh my god, I feel bad for the Attack on Titan manga, because either way that man is going to lose. I can already see when the series ends, and you know, that whoever gets shipped with who, and all because I can already see him getting a shit ton of death threats from either side on whoever ends up not getting their ship canonized. Ugh. Anyway, so to the convo itself, you saw about, of course, about, you know, stories I've seen, like, you know, hey Aaron, I've heard you're doing pretty good with, like, you know, your Titans, you know, your Titan hardening experiments, and she's like, you know, he's like, yeah, but if we don't hurry, they'll come back. And she asks him, like, you know, so if you saw Reiner and Bertolt again, you had to face them off, what would you do? He says, I have no other choice but to kill them. We'll have to wait and see. And I forget exactly what Aaron said, but I think he complimented. So I think he said she was doing a great job as Queen or something. I forget the exact line, but she ends up blushing afterwards, and I'm like, oh no. At that point, I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Well, the ship wars begin, everybody. Whew. I mean, me personally, I don't really ship Aaron with anybody. I guess Mikasa, just because of their overall history. Oh my god, they have so many, and I love how recently Mikasa's just been like taking over the role as Aaron's mom. Because while they're walking, Mikasa just comes over and gives them both this death stare. Like, imagine the death stare Mikasa gave Reiner or Bertolt back in season 2, but nowhere near as intense, but still enough to make you shit yourself. And that was the look Mikasa gave them. And just like Vega's still starting to get a little pissed off that she's not, he's hanging out with Historia. And she's like, Aaron's been doing nothing but experiments lately. Give me those. I love Aaron. It's like, hey, don't treat me like some feeble old man. Ugh. I absolutely love that. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the episode. I love Mika, so she's so entertaining to watch when it comes to Aaron. That was one of the highlights of the episode, definitely. And she also sees like these other kids just like running around the farm. She thought like that even kids from the underground are starting to smile again, which good on the story. It looks like these kids are getting back, are trying to get a sense of normalcy and all that good stuff. So then we head over to the scouts cafeteria or whatever you want to call it, and they're just kind of chilling, eating. And then this one dude is just talking about oh, you think you're a veteran, and he's like, and John talks about compared to you, yeah. And he says, and then he asks them about why, what's your backstory, and I just love the look everybody just gives each other and this dude could pick up okay, there's some deep shit going on. He's like, you sure you still want to know? And she's like, he says, maybe I'll ask there, because I bet this man just knew, okay, there is some deep shit going down here, so I should probably, because we know some deep shit has gone down between these guys throughout these 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, Eren, Connie's mom being realized that she is indeed in Titan, and all this stuff happened in the first half of season 3. A lot has happened with these guys, and they are veterans, they have shown the scars of war from everything they've been through. Which actually during the conversation they were having there, John talks about how, Eren is definitely not what he used to be, because definitely Eren used to be a lot more yelling and just act like he was the shit when he's realized recently that he is in fact not the shit and that anybody could do his job. And so now he's been kind of he's been staying very monotone, not really talking that loud, mumbling to himself. And then, like I said before, he's essentially like bloodstained Kaneki now, or I guess you could say white-haired Kaneki. Anyway, he's just edgy as hell, and he just exudes, I just don't give a flying fuck anymore, just whatever. And they also talk about of course the memories Eren's got, back a couple episodes back when he was shown everything about Eren's dad and everything. That of course those memories about of course that he did kill off Historia's family, his sister and all her other brothers and sisters, I should say, all stuff. And then one of them talks about you should maybe get hit in the head, then maybe you can remember. And maybe, and they also made a comment about of course their time in boot camp, and then he's like, that's it, because he said he actually remembered somebody in those memories, which as we saw last week was actually that these guys commanding boot camp commanding officer, commander, whatever the exact terminology is, does in fact know Eren's dad. And after Eren realized, he's like, that's it, that's who he is, and that's why I remember him. They head over back to this. They head over back there to talk to us, to interrogate Keith on what he knows, so that they can get a little bit more understanding of what the hell is going on. And so they meet up with Keith along with Hanji is there with Levi, and I love when everybody's inside, everyone's sitting down. Sasha's just standing. I was like, you sure you don't want to? He's like, no, I'm good standing. And he also talks about how he would always bring Sasha here to chew her out because, of course, all the potato girl memes that started off here and all the memes surrounding Keith. And we then get Keith's backstory. At the same time, we kind of got both Keith's backstory and kind of a bit of Eren's parents' backstory and pretty much how they met. So you got 2 for 1 with this. And so we start off. Keith, he's just kind of walking around where he finds this man just sitting outside the wall. He's like, whoa, dude, why are you outside the wall? He's like, wait, who are you? Wait, don't tell me. You're fighting? And we find out that the man was actually Grisha, of course, Eren's dad. Now, for some reason, he has lost all his memories. Now, I did go back on my DVR because, like, Attack on Titan Tsunami, I DVR all the episodes. I went back to the episode where we did see the flashback of him, of course, stabbing himself with the knife in Tori Time form. It seems like it was around that same time, although it could have been later because when we see Grisha there, he doesn't have his glasses. While when he did, take down, Historia's sister, or half sister, rather, he did have his glass. So either A, after he ate her, he just lost all his memories of everything, or B, this happened somewhere between after he was found out, after he was after he got married and everything, and before Eren, because we do see him later on where it does take Eren to the forest to, of course, give him the Titan serum and to, of course, turn him into a Titan shifter. So I'm curious when this actually takes place, because it's not exactly clear when this did. If I had to guess, maybe before, because like I said, he did lose all his memories. So I don't know. Maybe this happened before, right after he became a Titan shifter. He did eat right before, he was turned into a Titan and then became a Titan shifter. Maybe this was after he killed, Sora's sister. I don't know. It wasn't really specified. If I had to guess, maybe it was after he ate Historia's sister, maybe, and just the overload of eating her and memories. Maybe that's how he forgot everything, because we saw that she could actually erase people's memories, as we saw what he did to Historia. So maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. He does have the same about the same much facial hair. So who knows? Anyway. And so, of course, then he tells them that he doesn't really remember anything other than his name was, of course, Grisha Jaeger, and then later on he remembers that he was also a doctor and says, if you take me to a hospital, I might be able to help. So then he asks them, can you teach me? Pretty much he just wants to know what the status of the world is, and just what has been going on. So he tells them where pretty much, as he says, that the world is pretty much gone to shit, but there is peace within the wall, so it's all good. And at this bar, we see this waitress of, waiting tables, making conversation. We find out that was Eren's mom, Carla. Carla, I believe, not Carla, I believe is how you pronounce it. Yeah. Eren's mom was a waitress. Why am I not surprised? I swear to God, that's how it always happens in movies. They're like, the mom, whenever their parents, whenever there's backstory how parents met, it's always that the mom was always a waitress or something. It happened in TG, and now it's here in Attack on Titan, and probably some other shows you could probably make the comparisons with. Anyway, and so, they're talking about, and he tells them, about, of course, how some people think, Joe, just, as long as there's food and alcohol, life is good, but for him, it's not. Within these cramped walls, he, wants something more, to seek escape from these cramped walls. He says, is that why you guys explore, is that why the scouts explore the walls? He's like, yes. Quite foolish, isn't he? He's like, no. You guys are smarter and braver than all of us. You are the pride of humanity. He's like, pride? And then Carol hits him with with the little tray. He's like, you're recruiting for the scouts again, Keith? He's like, no, not this time. You have to join the scouts. You have to be a chosen one. So and he said throughout his narration that was the first time anyone had called him that. That's kind of where he kind of go, I guess you could say. Where where he did think that he was indeed like Eren thought he was the shit, that he was this special person that of course, and we see it throughout that he we see people commanders coming out with elves. He's like, whatever, if I was in charge, I would be putting out results. We would actually we would have a base already. Excuse me. Yeah, life would be the scouts would. We would see results as me as commander. Or then we also see how, pretty much how Eren and Carla and Grisha did fall in love, was that she actually got hit with this plague that hit them, and since he wasn't the doctor, he of course was able to cure her and get rid of the plague, which is of course when they officially fell in love. And from there, and of course they did eventually get married and everything, and we saw that he didn't get and we did see him get promoted to captain, to commander, so that he could run the shit. and as well at the same time we see that he got married now. And then we see him actually try one of missions where, like, their base gets destroyed off inside outside the walls, and their base was essentially just a treehouse. Yeah, and he's like, we need to retreat, and so that's when he realized that he wasn't the shit. And after this long, hard day of defeat, you know what he sees? Carla with baby Aaron, as a kind of like the final slap in the face to him, because I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure this wasn't specified in the end, but apparently Keith actually had a thing for Carla. My man Chibi actually pointed this out because I watched his review. Because I don't recall the ever really telling us that he did have a thing for Carla, so I could be wrong. So, but yeah, he apparently did have a thing for her, and this is really when his inferiority complex started to kick, where you really started getting his inferiority complex, when you realized he wasn't the shit. And of course, he started kind of getting jealous of, Grisha, because, he was successful, people knew him, he took the woman he loved, apparently, with Carolyn, had a kid with him. He honestly reminds me of like a mixture of like Bakugo mixed with Satoru from Erased. And you guys can make a lot of comparisons with Bakugo from My Hero Academia. Now I'm not sure what the timeline was when this happened in the manga compared to when the whole stuff with Bakugo. What happened in season 3 happened in the manga as well. Maybe they were on the same time, maybe they weren't. This could be just a complete coincidence. But as we know, for any of you guys that do watch My Hero Academia, you guys know that Bakugo, when we first saw him, he thought he was the shit. He was like, he called everybody extras and everything. He thought he was the shit, like, because, he had a cool core, and he just thought he was the shit. Like, he was going to, like, go through UA like nothing. Nobody can touch him. But as we learned throughout Season 2, and especially Season 3, Bakugo realized that, he wasn't the shit. There were people that were far more powerful than him with their quirks and everything, and that, and of course, stuff to happen with All Might and everything. He did get an inferiority complex, and he realized, like I said, he wasn't the shit. The same thing happened with Keith, where he thought, because, as Grisha said, you have to be like a chosen one or special for the scouts. He thought he was a chosen one. He thought he was special, when he actually wasn't. He was just some normal dude that could replace. And because of that, he actually told Erwin to take over for him as the commander, where he ended up resigning. Of course, he did the whole, corpse thing, boot camp thing. And I say Satoru from Erased because, okay, major spoilers for the last couple episodes of Erased, so if you don't want to know, if you have not seen Erased, first of all, you need to check out Erased. It's fucking amazing. It's an amazing show. Skip ahead. And as we know, our boy Satoru got majorly screwed over when he woke up from his coma. Kaio was taken, married, and had a damn kid with that motherfucker that looked like a girl that only gave Kaio a book. I am still pissed off about that. Now, granted, I'm not going to go out there and send the manga for Erased death threats about this, but I won't lie, I was pretty pissed off. I was kind of pissed and agitated that when I found that Satoru did not end up with Kaio, because I shipped them together, and I felt like the man deserved it, but nope. Instead, it's this motherfucker that had like zero relevance to the story, except giving her a book and that he was one of the serial killer's victims. And was there like no bro code between these guys? Did nobody say, whoa, dude, no, why are you making moves like Kaio? No, let Satoru at least have a chance first. But nope. I'm still a little pissed off about that. Like, I never understood, because like, I'm like, come on, Mom, you just cucked my boy Satoru. My man deserved. If he ended up with not getting with Kaio, fine, but I felt like if it was literally been anybody in the cast, like that other guy that was really helping out Satoru, I would have been fine with that. But nope, it was a dude that looks like a woman, or like a little girl. I'm still not over that. and of course, and I love that shot when with Carol's holding baby Aaron. And where, of course, I love this part here when they actually have their little conversation. And so after he walks up to her, and he asks her, like, who is that? Referring to Aaron. He's like, oh, this is our boy, Aaron. I could just imagine that dude being like, motherfucker. I could just imagine how pissed off and, like, y'all motherfuckers serious right now? Y'all had a kid? I could just imagine the man was just super pissed off when he saw that. And so she asked him, like, do you intend to just keep doing this over and over again until you die? And she says, I think it's time for you to end. And, like, the dude literally gets right up into her. Like, just, like, up to her face. Like, they're about that. He didn't get, like, right in front of her, but there was a decent distance. But, like, he was still pretty close. And literally starts screaming at her, saying, like, you want to know why people never accomplish jack shit? Because they have no imagination. They can never accomplish greatness. They can't even understand what the fuck greatness even is. This cycle of nothing, of just standing in these walls. A girl that just flirts with every dude she sees is nothing better than just pouring fucking drinks. And the man just keeps ranting and ranting over and over again. He's like, but then he kind of starts like crying a little bit. He's like, that normal people they can't accomplish it. They cannot accomplish greatness because they're not special. They can't do it because they're not special. And so then when we get to the scene where, Keith tells Aaron when you take over as scout commander, which of course then we resign, where then we get to when Aaron, of course, we get to the scene where we get a little bit more backstory about the whole scene where Aaron became a Titan shifter, his whole thing with the dad. Where, of course, he's holding Aaron and asks him, like, hey, where's your mom? And he tells, of course, that she was eaten by a Titan and everything. And where he then kind of takes him out to, like, this little forest area, which Keith follows him. He's like, whoa, wait, man, where are you going? And he's like, I have to do something. And he says, like, wait, man, what if your son's not special like you? Like you? What if he's different? What if he's not special? He's like, you're wrong. He's my son. Which, of course, he sees the thunder, where, of course, when Aaron became a Titan Shifter, he actually went over there when he saw it, and, of course, saw Aaron when he was holding his dad's glasses and everything, and he took him back to, like, the little area there where Aaron was, where, Mikasa and Armin were, and kind of left him there. And I also like when Walmart did get attacked. I love when he was like, when everyone just starts screaming like, "Oh my God, they're coming for us next!" He sees Keith, and where Keith sees Garisha, he's like, it's all your fault, because as we know, the man is seriously growing inferiority complex and is extremely jealous of Garisha. Because as we know, Garisha, he just came out of nowhere, just random dude that came outside the walls. Didn't know it, he lost his memories, and yet he was the shit. People knew him, people loved him. He was a doctor, and yet here's Keith, a man that was a scout. He got jack shit. And we also find out that this motherfucker was the one that actually sabotaged Aaron's gear back in season 1. Because you guys remember back in season 1, when Aaron's gear got sabotaged, the actual ODM gear, because it was for the ballasting, because it was the belt was busted up a little bit, hence why Aaron could never sit on, always got flipped upside down. We find out he sabotaged it. Now, you can take this as one two ways. I'm taking this from my man Chibi's reviewer. He said he could have just been honoring Carla's wishes of having Aaron remain no important, which is actually in where the end credits were playing. That's where we got a little bit more of what Carla's responses were to Keith's rant, where he said she says, who cares? But okay, what if Aaron's never strives for grace? What if he never does become the chosen one? I mean, just look at how cute he is. I was like, I like that. And so you could take it that way as him trying to make sure that Aaron doesn't get eaten by Titans. Or you could take it as Keith give as one final fuck you to Garisha by this is what you get, motherfucker, for screwing me all over. For screwing me over. I don't know that weird phrasing of that. So, me personally, I think he did it as a final fuck you to Garisha. Me personally, I just feel like it was probably just jealousy why he sabotaged his gear. I felt like that was probably the reason why he did it. As just one little final fuck you. And so that is the episode. We also, like I said, they got the whole part with Carla talking about, of course, that it doesn't matter if he doesn't strive for greatness. Who cares? All that stuff. So yeah, overall, this episode was amazing. I am so hyped for next week because it looks like next week they're actually going to be heading over Well, Mario, steal up the hole. So maybe next week we'll finally learn what's inside that basement. I don't know yet. Maybe that'll be after the 3-week break. I don't know, but I'm hot because I'm definitely curious if we do to see what's inside that basement. So yeah, so overall, I of course give this episode a 10 out of 10. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Flickr. Please don't drugs below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.